There comes a point in every person's life when they begin to realize that reality is not as fixed as it once appeared. For years, many people move through life believing that circumstances are permanent, that opportunities belong to someone else, and that success is reserved for a fortunate few. They look at their current situation and assume it defines what is possible for their future. But what if that assumption is incorrect? What if the life you dream about is not something that must be created from nothing? What if it already exists as a potential path waiting for your decision to walk toward it? Most people spend their energy focusing on what is missing. They notice the goals they have not achieved, the relationships they have not found, the money they have not earned, and the experiences they have not yet enjoyed. Their attention becomes attached to absence, and because of that, they continue to experience more reasons to feel incomplete. Yet there is another way to see life. Imagine standing in front of a vast landscape hidden behind a thick morning fog. The mountains are there, the rivers are there, the forests are there. The beauty exists whether you can see it or not. The fog does not erase reality, it only blocks your view of it. Many of the things you desire are like those mountains beyond the fog. Their arrival is not always determined by their existence. It is often determined by your ability to recognize that they are possible. The moment possibility enters your mind, something begins to shift. Your thoughts start searching for evidence. Your actions become more intentional. Your awareness expands beyond old limitations. Suddenly, opportunities that seemed invisible begin to appear in unexpected places. This is not magic. It is the natural result of changing the way you perceive the world around you. Think about how often people miss opportunities simply because they never expected them to exist. A person may walk past an open door because they are convinced it is locked. Another may discover an entirely new path simply because they were willing to test the handle. Expectation changes behavior. Behavior changes results. Results reshape reality. This process begins with a simple decision, refusing to let doubt become the loudest voice in your mind. Doubt is powerful because it often disguises itself as logic. It presents limitations as facts. It says, be realistic. It says, people like you do not achieve things like that. It says, you have already tried before. Over time, those thoughts can become so familiar that they feel true. But familiarity is not proof. A thought repeated 1,000 times is still only a thought. The most remarkable transformations in human history began when someone challenged an accepted limitation. Every invention, every breakthrough, every extraordinary achievement started with a person who believed there was more available than what others could currently see. The same principle applies to your own life. Your future is not required to look like your past. Your current circumstances are not permanent definitions. They are temporary conditions. Conditions change, people change, opportunities change. Entire lives can change in ways that seem impossible until they happen. The challenge is that many people wait for visible evidence before they allow themselves to believe. They want certainty before commitment. They want proof before trust. They want guarantees before action. Life rarely works that way. Often, belief comes first. The seed is planted before the tree appears. The foundation is built before the house exists. The first step is taken before the destination becomes visible. Those who experience remarkable growth understand this principle. They learn to move forward before every answer is revealed. They become comfortable with possibility. Possibility is powerful because it creates momentum. When you begin expecting positive outcomes, you naturally notice resources that were previously ignored. Conversations become more meaningful. Ideas arrive more frequently. Confidence increases. New choices become available. The world may not have changed overnight, but your relationship with it has. And that relationship influences everything. Consider the difference between two people entering the same situation. One expects failure, the other expects opportunity. They hear the same words. They face the same environment, yet their experiences become dramatically different because they are looking for different things. Expectation acts like a filter. It determines what receives your attention. And what receives your attention often grows stronger. This is why maintaining a vision matters. Not because wishful thinking magically creates results, but because a clear vision influences your decisions, your focus, your persistence, and your willingness to keep moving when challenges appear. Every meaningful achievement requires persistence. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be periods when results seem delayed. There will be days when uncertainty attempts to reclaim control. Those moments do not mean your journey has failed. They simply mean your journey is continuing. Growth is rarely dramatic while it is happening. A tree does not become tall in a single day. A river does not carve a canyon overnight. Transformation often occurs quietly, beneath the surface, long before visible results appear. The person who understands this remains patient. They continue learning. They continue improving. They continue believing. And eventually, the invisible work becomes visible reality. The opportunities arrive. The relationships deepen. The confidence strengthens. The results begin to reflect the internal changes that have been taking place all along. What once seemed distant begins to feel natural. What once seemed impossible becomes familiar. What once seemed like a dream becomes part of everyday life. Everything starts with recognizing that possibility exists. Not someday, not years from now, not after every condition becomes perfect. Right now. The future you desire does not begin with external circumstances. It begins with a new perspective. The moment you choose to believe that greater possibilities are available, you stop living as a spectator and begin living as a happy person.